Hey everyone, welcome to Movie Marathons HQ, where we do movie marathons connected to new releases and where we enjoy and review some of our favorite movies. This video is part of the Avengers Doomsday Movie Marathon, where we are watching one movie every week as we prepare for the release of Avengers Doomsday in December 2026. Today we are discussing Elektra. Released in 2005 and directed by Rob Bowman, this is a spin-off of the movie Daredevil, where we got introduced to Matt Murdock, portrayed by Ben Affleck, and we're introduced to Elektra Natchios, played by Jennifer Garner. This is the spin-off with Jennifer Garner's character of Elektra taking center stage. And also, I had never seen this movie before, so this was my first time watching it. I believe that I have now seen every movie in this movie marathon from here on out, at least once, but this was the first time for me. Overall, this movie is okay. There are some positives there and some negatives there. I know that it's not very popular and it has some issues, but I thought it was okay. For positives, I'd mention some of the visual effects and the world building. And for negatives, I'd mention the editing, the characterization of Elektra, and the exclusion of Daredevil. Also, a spoiler alert for Elektra, because we're going to get into some more details as we discuss this movie. The first positive is the visual effects. There's not a ton of visual effects that are super obvious in this movie. It's kind of an assassin movie, so it's a lot of fighting and combat. But there's one character who's based on a comic book character called Tattoo, where he's got tattoos all over his body of different animals, and then his power is that those tattoos come to life and become those animals. And it looks really good. There's scenes where Hawk comes onto him and turns into the tattoo and leaves him and turns into the hawk, and it looks very good. There's a scene where his wolf tattoo on his chest bursts out of him, and it looks very, very good. And there's some other visual effects that look pretty good. Maybe nothing groundbreaking other than that one point, but there's some positive visual effects for sure. And then another positive that I would say is the world building. So the movie Daredevil gave us Daredevil and Wilson Fisk and Kingpin. It gave us Bullseye, and it gave us Elektra and some of the world of Hell's Kitchen that Matt Murdock inhabits. This movie continues building out a whole different world, almost like it doesn't even feel like the same spin-off. But we get introduced to Stick, played by Terrence Stamp. Sorry, I forgot his name for a minute. But he's pretty good. He's not the best Stick that we've ever seen. But Stick is traditionally a Daredevil character, but he fit in, I thought, quite nicely here, and did a good job fitting into what his role was going to be. And then introducing the Hand as a criminal ninja organization, which again is more of a Daredevil thing, but it kind of worked for Elektra. I thought some of the world building was pretty good, and fleshing out Elektra's character I thought was pretty nice. Now for negatives, some of the editing was again very crazy, and that was a negative for me in Daredevil, and it's a negative for me here. So I don't know if it was, I didn't look if it was the same editor, but they're kind of, since it's a spiritual sequel kind of spin-off thing, maybe that's a connection there. But there's a lot of editing that's just very fast, very jarring, very short, and hard to track what's going on, and to the detriment of some scenes where I just felt lost and not knowing what I was watching. So the editing and sort of the flow of that was a negative for me. And the biggest negative for me was the exclusion of Daredevil. I understand that this wasn't necessarily a sequel, otherwise it would have been called Daredevil 2, Elektra or something. This is a spin-off, so it's about Elektra, which is great. I think she's a character that was worth expanding upon. But at the end of Daredevil, Elektra's dead, and then her necklace shows up, and it's like, oh, maybe she's alive again. So then this is telling that story. But everything in this movie reminded me that there's no Daredevil. He doesn't show up in a cameo. He doesn't have anything to do with this movie at all. The inclusion of Stick makes me think, where's Daredevil? The inclusion of the Hand and all these assassins made me think, where's Daredevil? Even the inclusion of another male love interest, which is fine. I think it would be strange for Elektra to just pine after Matt Murdock forever. She can have another love interest, but it just seemed like you were pretty into Matt whenever this first movie was. So it just felt like he was missing, and I felt like he's going to show up at some point, and he never does. So that anticipation and absence is a negative for me. Now, how might Elektra connect to Avengers Doomsday? In the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, we see Deadpool and Wolverine enter the Void, and there they are met by Jennifer Garner playing Elektra again. It's not clear if this is the exact same Elektra in that movie as she was here. That's kind of implied because it is the same actor. And she is alive at the end of that movie, so she may return. She's not been announced as part of the cast list for Avengers Doomsday, so I don't think she would be in it, but she also wasn't announced to be in the cast list of Deadpool and Wolverine, and that was a big surprise in the theater. It wasn't the biggest surprise for me in Deadpool and Wolverine, but she could return. I don't think Daredevil's going to return. I think it would be pretty strange to have Ben Affleck come back, given that he's played Batman in DC, but it's not impossible. But anyways, I don't think there's going to be much connection between Elektra and Deadpool and Avengers Doomsday. So that's my review of Elektra. What do you think of this movie, and how do you think it might connect to Avengers Doomsday? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. The next movie in this marathon is Iron Man. We are finally getting into the thick of the MCU. We've had a few MCU movies already in the marathon. I put them chronologically, so we've already seen Captain America, Captain Marvel, and the Fantastic Four First Steps. But now with Iron Man, we're jumping firmly into the MCU as we know it and love it. So stay tuned for that. Follow Movie Marathons HQ on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and also on Letterboxd, where you can see all of the movie marathons that we've done. See you at the movies.